Most people think prison has bars, guards, and locked doors. But there's another kind of prison almost no one talks about because you can't see it. You wake up to an alarm, rush through your morning, go to work, pay bills, scroll your phone at night, and repeat the same cycle every day. You tell yourself this is just normal adult life. But slowly, without realizing it, money builds a cage around you, and one day you notice you don't feel free anymore. At first, this prison feels safe. A steady paycheck feels like security. A car, a house, and a few nice things feel like success. But over time, those same things begin to control you. Your job stops being something you do and starts being something you depend on. Missing one paycheck suddenly feels terrifying, because everything in your life is tied to it. The trap usually starts early. You're told to study hard, get a good job, and life will be set. So you take loans, make sacrifices, and trust that future you will handle the cost. Then you earn more money and upgrade your lifestyle because you believe that's what progress looks like. A better phone, a nicer car, a bigger place. But your expenses quietly rise with your income, and no matter how much you earn, you still feel stuck. This is the invisible prison. You're not trapped by being poor, you're trapped by responsibilities. Rent, debt, insurance, subscriptions, and expectations stack up until they form walls around your life. And the strange part is that society praises you for it. Being busy, stressed, and exhausted is seen as being successful. Over time, your choices become smaller. You stop asking what you actually want from life and start asking what you can afford. You stay in jobs you don't enjoy because leaving feels too risky. You delay dreams, ideas, and freedom because the bills don't wait and the system doesn't care. Fear becomes the real guard of this prison. Fear of falling behind, fear of looking unsuccessful, fear of disappointing people, so you keep running, telling yourself you'll slow down someday, enjoy life later, and rest in the future. But the future keeps moving further away. What makes this prison so powerful is that it's invisible. No one forced you into it. You walked in step by step, making choices that seemed logical at the time. And because everyone around you is living the same way, it feels normal. But normal doesn't mean free. Money itself isn't the enemy. The real problem is dependence. When your entire life relies on one paycheck, you lose control. When your identity is tied to a job title, your freedom becomes fragile. True freedom isn't about being rich, it's about having options. Escaping doesn't mean quitting everything overnight. It starts with awareness, questioning your expenses, learning skills that give you leverage, creating income sources that don't depend on permission. Even small changes create cracks in the walls. The invisible prison only works if you don't see it. The moment you recognize it, everything changes. Because once you see the walls clearly, you realize something powerful: the door was never locked. You just never knew it was there. Most people think a prison is something obvious. Steel bars, locked doors, guards watching your every move. But the most powerful prison ever created doesn't look like a prison at all. You wake up in it every morning. You participate in it all day. And at night, you collapse inside it, exhausted, telling yourself this is just how life works. It's the invisible prison of money, and most people never realize they're inside it. At first, everything feels normal. You wake up to an alarm, rush through your morning, commute to work, do what you're told, come home tired, scroll your phone, sleep, and repeat. Nothing about this feels extreme or dangerous. In fact, it feels responsible. This is what adults do. This is what being successful looks like. But slowly, something changes. You stop feeling excited about the future. You stop feeling in control of your time. And you start feeling like you're constantly catching up, but never actually moving forward. The prison doesn't lock you in all at once. It builds itself quietly, piece by piece. First, you're told that education is the key to freedom. So you study hard, take loans, and trust that future you will handle the cost. Then you're told that a good job equals security, so you chase the paycheck instead of the purpose. When the money starts coming in, you finally feel relief. You can breathe. You made it. Or at least, that's what you think. Then lifestyle upgrades begin. Not because you're greedy, but because it feels deserved. A better phone because you work hard. A nicer car because you need reliable transportation. A bigger place because you want comfort. None of these choices feel like mistakes. Each one makes sense on its own. But together, they quietly raise the minimum amount of money you need just to survive. That's when the walls start closing in. Your income goes up, but your freedom doesn't. In fact, it shrinks. Because now, you don't just work to earn money. You work to protect the life you've built. Missing one paycheck suddenly feels dangerous. Losing your job feels catastrophic. The same things that once felt like rewards now feel like responsibilities you can't escape. This is the invisible prison. You're not trapped by poverty. You're trapped by obligations. Bills that arrive every month without mercy. Debt that doesn't care how tired you are. Subscriptions, insurance, rent, expectations, each one small on its own, but together they form solid walls. And the most dangerous part is that society congratulates you for being inside them. If you're busy, stressed, and exhausted, people say you're doing great. Over time, your mindset changes. You stop asking big questions like, what kind of life do I want? And start asking smaller, safer ones like, what can I afford? Dreams become unrealistic. Risks become irresponsible. You stay in jobs you don't enjoy because quitting feels too scary. You tell yourself you'll try something different later, when things are more stable. But stability never arrives, because stability itself requires constant effort. Fear becomes the guard of this prison. Fear of falling behind. Fear of starting over. Fear of disappointing your family. Fear of being judged. Fear of losing what you've worked so hard to build. So you keep going. You wake up, show up, and push through, even when every part of you feels drained. You call it discipline. You call it maturity. But deep down, it's survival. The scariest part is how normal this feels. Everyone around you is doing the same thing. Your coworkers, your friends, your family. You all joke about being tired, about hating Mondays, about counting down to weekends. Because everyone is in the same cage, no one questions the cage itself. Normal becomes the enemy of freedom. Money itself isn't the villain. Money is just a tool. The real problem is dependence. When your entire life depends on one paycheck, your freedom is fragile. When your health insurance, housing, food, and identity all rely on staying employed, your choices shrink. You might feel independent, but you're one decision away from losing control. This is how the system keeps you compliant. Not with force, but with comfort and fear. You're not threatened with violence. You're threatened with instability. And instability is terrifying when your entire life is built on monthly payments. So you play it safe. You follow the rules. You stay quiet. You keep going. Eventually, time starts slipping away. Years pass faster than you expect. You look back and wonder how you got here so quickly. You remember the dreams you had when you were younger, the things you wanted to try, build, explore. But now those dreams feel distant, almost childish. You tell yourself it's too late, even though deep down you know that's not true. The invisible prison survives on distraction. Endless entertainment, endless scrolling, endless noise. As long as you're busy and distracted, you don't stop to question the structure of your life. You don't notice how little of your time actually belongs to you. You don't realize that the most valuable thing you own isn't money, it's time. And you're trading it away every day. Breaking out doesn't mean quitting your job tomorrow or rejecting money altogether. That's another trap. Real freedom isn't about extremes. It starts with awareness, seeing the walls for what they are, understanding how lifestyle inflation keeps you stuck, realizing that more income doesn't automatically mean more freedom if your expenses rise with it. It means building options, learning skills that make you valuable beyond a single role, creating income streams that don't depend on one employer. Saving not just for emergencies, but for leverage. Questioning purchases instead of making them automatically. These steps might seem small, but small cracks weaken even the strongest walls. True freedom isn't about being rich. It's about control. Control over your time. Control over your choices. Control over your direction. It's the ability to walk away when something no longer serves you. It's the ability to say no without panic. And most people never experience this because they mistake comfort for freedom. The invisible prison only works as long as you don't see it. The moment you do, something shifts. You start noticing how your decisions are shaped by fear instead of desire. You start realizing how much of your life is spent maintaining instead of creating. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Here's the truth most people never hear: the door was never locked. It was just hidden behind routine, fear, and expectations. And the moment you start questioning the system instead of blindly obeying it, you take your first real step toward freedom.